Welcome, late Charlotte Motor Speedway, round 9 of the series. Mile and a half intermediate, one of the cookie cutter tracks here. I think the other one was Atlanta, and then I believe Homestead. But regardless, we're here tonight at the Center for Stock Car Racing, the home for many teams in the real world. Get that fixed quick, and then we'll run through the starting order. All right, starting order for tonight gonna look like this on the pole. One of our shoo-ins here for the championship fight, Scott McCann in the number 12 car, winner this season already. And to his outside, I believe making his first appearance here in the Pre-Legends series, gonna be Byron. Row number 3 gonna be the number 86 of Aaron Lester, and to his outside gonna be the number 94 of Jimmy Minch. Row number 4 gonna be the number 28. Last time out was a win at Lime Rock. Row number 5 going to be the number 32 of Greg Pillar, and to his outside going to be the number 60 of Joe Ryan. Row number 7 going to be the number 35 of Casey Ellis, and his outside going to be the number 15 of Mark Frimpong. This car, and we're going green this time by.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag in the air. Mark Rober giving an early push there to the back bumper of Scott McCann. These ARCA cars love little, but compared to a lot of the bigger intermediates, this is one of the more narrow ones. Only about 3, maybe 4 lanes wide. Mark Roberg down to the inside of Byron Jones for that second spot battle heating up there. Mark Cofield maybe giving a little assistance there to Mark Roberg down on the bottom. Thinks twice about it, looks through the middle now, maybe looking for some clean air. Byron Jones now pulls clear Mark the third spot, and he'll get it down the front stretch here. Top line prevailing early on in this one, at least. Now single file through your top 5, back behind Greg Pillar, looking to the inside of DJ Trout. That is for 7th. Door to door, real tight quarters there in 3 and 4. A little bit of latency there on my end here. Apologies for that. Lead now heating up. Byron Jones onto the outside of Scott McCann there for the lead, and he'll take it down the backstretch. Martin Roberg following suit on the top. McCann powers back through the bottom, though. Charlotte, the traditional date of the Coke 600 in NASCAR, and all the feeder series follow suit with that, with them being the longest races on the season at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And we decided to recreate that in Bolt. Halfway break's going to be, I believe, on or around that 57, 58, somewhere in that range, I believe. DJ Trout there in the 30 was running that extreme top or bottom line, excuse me. Once again, Scott McCann to the inside. Side by side for your race lead here down the front stretch. Byron Jones still going to have it there at the line. DJ Trout making a big move there. 3 wide, almost down to the bottom there inside of Mark Cofield. Backed up the corner though. Cofield going to clear him on that. And Jones. Too close to call there at the line for lap number 12 being in the books. Joe Roush there in the 60, starting to join the party though. Side by side there with Cofield for the 3rd spot. Now looking to the bottom, 3 wide here. Greg Pillar in the 32 there in the mix as well. So far. These drivers using every inch of the surface in the corners. Everybody trying to find us. Ooh, Jimmy Minch got the wall there a little bit. That lets Joe Roush get to his inside. A couple others trying to follow suit through the bottom. Up front, Roberg, your leader. Byron for your 2nd spot, though. Roush slid up a little there. Almost fed Byron Jones a door. Pulled out to the longest advantage we've seen so far yet in this race. Which isn't saying much still, only a couple tenths separating. Man, this looks like an Atlanta race. These guys just lined up top and bottom. Two by two, 4 deep, top and bottom. But now Byron Jones going to have pull out clear here down the front stretch and into turn number 1. Top line starting to prevail here. But I say that, a couple cars starting to mix it up a little bit. Byron Jones looked low there, same with Mark Cofield. Whoa, almost contact there. If there wasn't, I would be shocked. Joe Roush saved it, though. But Martin Roberg out front, starting to put on the hammer here. Almost a full second outside of Byron Jones. Trout now clearing a second. Whoa, contact. Oh, big contact there. Trouble down the backstretch. Lane Myers, Greg Pillar, Joe Roush involved. Heavy front end damage for Joe Roush. That's going to be a unit right as he was starting to check out a little bit for the rest of this field. A wreck down the backstretch puts us under the yellow flag. And Joe Roush immediately going to bring it down into pit road, trying to fix this damage. And while that's going on here and cars start to get back up to the pace car, we'll take a look back and see what transpired here. You saw it for a moment. That's the wrong button. You see Joe Roush started coming up, maybe thought that 15 car was clear. The 15 trying to react to the car below him. Just caught the quarter panel of Greg Pillar. That stacked up a couple of them from there. Wow, and that 60 car caught some air there on that one. And there you see the damage. But now, in this series, drivers are allowed to use a fast repair. Just one, though. Which just immediately fixes your car. And returns it to a raceable state. But like I said, only one use of the fast repair here in this series. Grand National Series only has one at plate tracks, and then the Lightning Series on Friday nights, no fast repairs. Greg Pillar not electing to use the fast repair this time. Just in case, I suppose, if he needed it later. A couple other cars coming in, though. Mark Cofield, almost wonder if he had a little damage. He's on pit road for a while now. He elected to take tires that time. I believe Martin Roberg on back may have taken tires. Let's take a look back here quick. Just real quick. And indeed, our Scott McCann did too. Oh, and McCann, using that end pit box, got ahead of Martin Roberg there on the pit cycle, so it's just these two out front. Or no, Jimmy Mensch, right sides. That was the call. DJ Trout staying out. Jimmy Mensch, right sides. And then for McCann and the 12 on back, 4 tires. Oh, and you see Greg Pillar back there still has a lot of damage. Hopefully he's able to maintain in this pack and not go an extra lap down. Or 1 lap down, I should say. Base truck pulls it down. Now it's in the hands of DJ Trout in the restart zone. DJ Trout getting a really good jump here on the restart. But immediately you see the chaos already happening here. 3 wide back behind, even out of turn number 4. 33 of Justin Johnson, 19 Byron Jones, 37. Oh, 3 wide, 2 deep. Jimmy Mensch going around the top side of DJ Trout for the lead. Scott McCann down on the bottom. Number 2 down the backstretch. But now Scott McCann on those 4 tires takes over the race lead. 3 wide once again here, further back. For the 3rd position, Byron Jones going to try to take it away here into turn number 1. Justin Johnson through the middle. Jimmy Mensch on top. Ooh, Jimmy Mensch in the wall. But up front here, 3 wide once again. Mark Firmprong really likes to use that 3 wide move. Looked for it there, couldn't quite do it. But DJ Trout on the no tire call, still holding pretty strong here. But up front, battle for the lead. Justin L. Johnson to the inside of the 12 of Scott McCann. Door to door down the backstretch. Johnson giving him a little side draft there. Trying to dump some air onto the quarter panel to hold up his momentum. Didn't entirely work. Still door to door down the front stretch. They're still early on in this race, but definitely looks like he's waiting for one of them to go here. Art moves down to the bottom. Good call there. Mark Roberg now joining the party as well. Look to the top line, trying to find clean air. And you saw that really work for him in the first 20 laps or so of this one. Now starting to put the pressure, moves down to the bottom of Byron Jones. Casey Ellis as well in this party. Back there in the 6th spot. Byron Jones now to the bottom of Scott McCann. Justin Johnson clear for the lead in the 33 car. Casey is one of those guys that I wouldn't say isn't confident in himself, but has more speed than he lets on. I'll put it that way. Especially at a place like here, he's always got speed. I wouldn't be surprised if he's up here challenging for a podium here late in this one. Ooh, Scott McCann brushed the wall. Ooh, and Mark Frimpong had to take evasive action there. Oh, and Casey Ellis took very evasive action there. Actually caught some damage. Oh, commentator's curse. Casey Ellis, heavy right front damage. It looks like that tire may be down on the 35 machine. Brings it down pit road, unscheduled stop. I'm going to have to take the fast repair. He wants to stay in touch in this lead battle at the end of this one. But up front, Justin L. Johnson, your race leader. Byron Jones running 2nd. Mark Frimpong 3rd. Followed closely by Mark Cofield, DJ Trout, Chris Chimopoulos, Aaron Lester, George Chimopoulos. But up front, battle starting to heat up for 2nd now. Mark Frimpong to the inside of Byron Jones for 2nd. Door to door for your 2nd spot here. Jones has it. Frimpong wants it. Still side by side down the backstretch on lap number 36. Frimpong slips back a little bit. McCann got to his outside momentarily. But now Jones had to check up there mid-corner. Frimpong back to the inside of him. And he'll have the 2nd spot down the front stretch at the line. An update on Casey Ellis in the 35 machine. He was having a really strong run. Is scored 1 lap down. However, with 1 yellow flag, which we are guaranteed one here in about 20 laps. That'll put him right back on the lead lap with the waiver on, or lucky dog, sorry. But Frimpong's starting to close. You see that down the backstretch, lap traffic ahead. But Frimpong going to take away the race lead down the front stretch. Justin Johnson crosses over back to the inside immediately as they close in here on the 32 of Greg Pillar. Pillar stays out of the way. A good call there going to the top line. As the battle still raging on here for the race lead. Frimpong gonna have it that time by. Ooh, they might have touched down through 1 and 2 there. Coming up on lap traffic once again, the 60 car of Joe Roush going in another lap down. Gonna be tight quarters down the front stretch here. 3 wide with a lap car. Leaders make it through clean. Ooh, you see Justin Johnson got a little tight there through the middle of the corner. Almost got into Frimpong, but they stay clean. Take a look back through the field a little further here. We'll just go back through the entire field here, give everybody a little screen time. Scott McCann side by side here with Byron Jones. That's for third. McCann going to have it into 1. Back behind Martin Roberg, maybe playing the... Chris Chimopoulos, good run from him in the 8th spot. DJ Trout sitting 9th on that no tire call on the pit stop. Might be rethinking that here for the halfway break. George Chimopoulos sitting 10th. Aaron Lester 12th. And then we see the 32 of Greg Pillar as well. And the car he's fighting for this lucky dog position, Casey Ellis, going down the front stretch. Might be something to look out for here before the caution. Those two gonna be pretty close here before the caution. And Jimmy Minch, who did pick up a little bit of damage there, was running up front early on in this run. Sitting in the 12th spot. Probably just holding out for a yellow here. And like we were saying earlier, gonna get one here, now only about 12 laps away. I'm thinking in the 10 to 12 range, actually, for the halfway break. This series replicating the Arca Menard series in the real-life racing ladder. That series does a halfway break. And we were front Joe Roush. They were in the 60 car trying to get back one of his laps here if he can. Split. We'll take a look back a little further here as Frimpong's starting to stretch that advantage. Joe Roush now to the inside. We'll keep our eyes on this. Roush clearing the leader. Gets one of his laps back. Got a couple more to go, but anything can happen here in this track. Taking a look back here at the battle for fourth. Lane Myers now getting around the 19 of Byron Jones for fourth. Mark Cofield behind, trying to do the same as well to the inside of the 19 car. Through 3 and 4, takes it away. Back up to the 5th spot. Jones relegated to 6th. Back here in 7th, Martin Roberg. Not quite having the same pace as we saw early on in the first 20-lap run, but maybe playing a save game here. Hard to say what their fuel numbers are looking like. Slides up to the 7th spot. DJ Trout running 9th. George Chimopoulos 10th. Aaron Lester 11th. Casey Ellis now in the lucky dog spot. Getting around the 32 car of Greg Pillar. Jimmy Mensch still fighting a little bit of damage, I believe, in the 12th spot. 19 seconds back behind the lead. Greg Pillar 14th, probably hoping for this halfway break here before he goes an additional lap down. Probably because he might be helping him a little bit here, pulling him along here, as he's starting to pull a little bit of an advantage here on the 33 of Justin Jones, though. Lane Myers starting to pick him up and put him down, though, up to the 3rd spot, getting around the 12 of Scott McCann. Strong long run car for him today. Mark Cofield 5th. And there's our halfway caution. And that'll slow down and stack up the field once again. Joe Roush able to stay on 4 laps down, not going a 5th down. Good break for him. And Casey Ellis gonna be our lucky dog spot here on this halfway caution. Ooh, couple of cars not checking up for the pace car in time. Byron Jones spun, as well as the 420 of Chris Chimopoulos. I don't think they got any damage out of that, but we'll have to take a look back and see. Oh, and Byron Jones did get hit by the 420 of Chris Chimopoulos. Unfortunate bit of contact there between those two. Hopefully that doesn't put a damper in Chris Chimopoulos' day. He was having a really strong run here. Now field gonna come down here if they choose. Looks like pretty much all of them are gonna choose to come down here, take some fresh. I believe with this series being a little more of an entry-level series, all the cars one lap down there or more did get a wave around. There you see Martin Roberg still sitting on pit road, possibly fixing a little bit of damage. Or no, excuse me, cars don't get a wave around here. They will get a wave around if they stay out. Except for the 35 of Casey Ellis did get the lucky dog. Came in for a service and going to come back out on the lead lap. Jimmy Mensch getting a little bit of damage fixed, as well as, I believe, the 37 of Martin Roberg. And Greg Pillar going to stay out, get a lap back. The field coming to 1 to green here. Lights are out on the pace car. Next time by, we'll be back to green flag racing here at Charlotte in the Bolt Racing League Pre-Legend Series. That second run here tonight, Justin Johnson jumped out to the lead early on, but Mark Frimpong in the 15 car really put on the hammer there in the second half of that one. Going to be interesting to see how this plays out in the final remaining laps. Going to be 55 laps to go when they get back to the green flag. That leaves it in the hands of the 15 car of Mark Frimpong.
Green, green, green.
Frimpong gonna have the early advantage, and Justin Johnson had to cut down in front of the 12 of Scott McCann there. McCann momentarily there looks to the inside there for second on Justin Johnson. Could not do it there through 3 and 4. Gonna be single file once again here down the front stretch. Regardless, Scott McCann gonna go to his outside and jumps up to the second spot. Probably thinking about how Frimpong got around him there on that first run. He's starting to be a little bit more conservative with his tires. But Scott McCann put on the hammer early here, getting the lead once again. Lane Myers now to the inside of Justin Johnson for the third spot. Couldn't make it work that time. Looks to the end once again there through 3 and 4, able to make it work that time, and DJ Trout following suit down on the bottom. DJ Trout now looking to the inside on Lane Myers for the third spot. Door to door down the front stretch. Lane Myers still going to hold on to it that time at the line. Roberg smacked the wall there a little bit on entry. Oh, and it got tight there between DJ Trout and Lane. Trout trying to pull clear, almost forced it. But Lane Meyer's gonna come back around his outside here down the front stretch. Whoa, Frimpong. Not sure what happened there. Or no, that was Byron Jones. Excuse me. Let's take a quick look back and see what happened there. Okay, I'm having every difficulty in the books here. Oh, and there was Frimpong. I was right. Okay. That was the strangest bit of... I'm not sure. But we're going to look live here. Back live once again. But I almost wonder if something like... somebody like grabbed the wheel there on Mark Frimpong's machine. He lost wholesale spots there on that one. Up front, Scott McCann, DJ Trout, Lane Myers with Byron Jones is inside now into turn number one. Shuts. But that is, however, going to let Mark Roberg out to his outside. And now up front, battle for your race lead. DJ Trout momentarily at least to the inside of Scott McCann. McCann gonna pull clear once again though. Mark Frimpong starting to put the pressure on once again though. Through the middle, 3 wide, that is very tight. Made it work though, got to the inside there on Martin Roberg. You see a lot of these drivers realizing that bottom line is the way to go here. Now they say that DJ Trout looked Martin Roberg slowly starting to pick up the pace here, up to the 3rd spot, running that top line. Close quarters there for your race lead. McCann has it. Trout looking at his inside. Martin Roberg now looked to the inside of DJ Trout. Trout had to go low to try to defend that one. Inside of Scott McCann, and Martin Roberg gotta make it 3 here. Yeah, 3 wide down the front stretch. Oh, almost made it 4 there with Byron Jones. Holy cow. May have been a little bit of net code. And just as we were starting to say, the intensity picking up, and it boils over. Let's take a look back and see what happened there. And that they were down the front stretch. Ooh, and it got tight there. Byron Jones may have been trying to look through the middle to the outside of DJ Trout. Oh, and that may have been a little bit of net code, uncertain, but Martin Rober got the apron there, washed up just a hair. Not a whole lot DJ Trout could have done, I don't think. Gonna go around. Now, caution being out, these drivers are able to come down for repairs and or fuel and tires. And looks like a lot of them opt to here. Now's the point where strategy might come into play. We saw Jimmy Minch try it on the first run, but does anybody try? Survey says probably not, but Martin Rober gonna win the race off pit road. And Greg Pillar back on the lead lap. And Joe Roush is currently scored 2 down after being 5 down early on in this one. Couple more cautions, he'll be right back in the fight here. Again. Unfortunate there. I wonder what happened on his stop. They made him have to come back in. Oh, I bet I know what it is. In iRacing, for fueling options, you have the auto fuel, which is computer based on the previous laps you've ran in the car at the track, and it'll automatically fuel it based on the laps remaining in the race. And sometimes that can get it wrong. There is an option to turn it off, but not all drivers are able to with their setups, with their wheel and pedals and such. May not if Martin Rober got short fueled there on that first time through the box. And had to come back in just to make sure he was safe on fuel. But either way, Scott McCann, now your race leader once again to the restart.
Green flag.
Scott McCann getting the early jump, but the action is behind. Mark Frimpong side by side there with Lane Myers for second. Justin Johnson fourth. Mark Cofield fifth. Casey Ellis back in this thing up to sixth after being a lap down earlier. Frimpong still to the inside on Lane Myers. Ooh, close there. Cofield and Johnson had a check up. Cofield getting the worst end of that. Loses a little bit of momentum and a spot to DJ Trout. 2x2 through a lot of this field. Frimpong still. Whoa, contact there behind. Justin Johnson going to go around, and that'll collect a couple more cars. Doesn't look like got a lot of damage from that, but definitely going to be frustrated with that one, I bet. Car very bent. Dog tracking sideways like a next gen back when they broke the toe links every week. Oh, and not able to hang on to it there. Heavy hit to the outside wall. Pit lane. Let's take a look back at what transpired here. Ooh, Mark Cofield just getting the quarter panel just barely on Justin Johnson. Gosh, and I'm surprised the damage isn't worse on that machine. Heavy hit to the outside wall there. And there you have it. Luckily is able to make it down onto the pit road. They include race leader Scott McCann, Mark Frimpong behind, Lane Myers, Casey Ellis, Mark Cofield, Aaron Lester, George Chimopoulos, Greg Pillar, and Joe Roush, who is 3 laps down. Back behind Jimmy Mensch, first to come out that did stop for tires there, DJ Trout, as well as Justin Johnson, who got his damage fixed, gets back out in 11th. Martin Robert came down as well. I believe he was still fighting a little bit of damage. Going to be sitting 12th coming out pit road. Byron Jones and Chris Chimopoulos as well going to come out off of pit road here shortly, I believe. But now when these drivers get back to the green flag, going to be 25 laps to go. Still a lot of time, still anybody's game here. Day here tonight, as well as the 28 Lane Myers having a really good day. Hopefully he can close this one out, at least with the top 5. Definitely has earned at least that in the last couple of races. Had really strong runs and not a ton of results to show for it. In this one, he said it to me before, one of his favorites, and I've seen him run here in the Gen 6 back when that was the car for the GNS series. He was really strong there. These cars, not a whole lot different from that. A little bit less power. And a little bit more aero dependent there. Definitely somebody to look out for here at the end of this one. And also to mention, he's came back from a lap down up to 4th now. Mark Cofield back behind, as well as Aaron Lester. Green flag back out. Scott McCann not able to pull clear of Mark Frimpong on the restart. Dower down into 1 and 2. Frimpong now to the inside of Scott McCann for your race lead down into turn number 1 and 2. Almost able to clear, gonna try to run him up, see if he can get him clear, and he does. Whoa, big contact behind. I believe that's Mark Cofield getting damage. And it is heavy front end damage for that car. No caution on that transaction. Gonna bring it down onto pit road. Unfortunate for him, but we stay green. Casey Ellis now taking advantage of that up to the second spot. Ooh, Aaron Lester got the wall there. Out of turn number 2. Scott McCann down to the bottom, side by side with Casey Ellis for the second spot. Ellis able to clear down the backstretch though. Leighton Myers now looking to the inside on the 12 of Scott McCann. Don't look now, but DJ Trout, first car on those 4 fresh tires, up to the 5th spot. Starting to click off some real good laps compared to these front 4. Casey Ellis starting to pull up to the back of Mark Frimpong. Scott McCann down to his inside though. McCann now immediately going on the attack here. Gets to the inside of Mark Frimpong for the race lead. Still door to door down the backstretch. Frimpong able to clear though. McCann files back up to the top. Back behind a lot of those cars on fresher tires, starting to catch back up to the front 4. DJ Trout to the outside on Leighton Myers for the 4th spot. Oh, Greg Pillar around. Heavy hit there. It may have been Byron Jones. Byron Jones, heavy front end damage. I don't think he's able to steer that car. Yeah, both front tires knocked off of that thing. Let's take a look back and see how this happened. Oh, and there you have it. Yeah, Byron Jones just nowhere to go. Gets collected in the mayhem there. But I want to see if we can... Yeah, there we go. I want to see if we can ride it on board here. I'm hitting too many buttons. There we go. Yeah, I wonder if Greg Pillar may have came down a little bit there. But either way, that's going to draw our next caution on lap 99. Now on 101, I believe, for your race leaders. Nope, lap 100 already. Ignore me. Mark Frimpong opting to stay out, as well as a 30 of DJ Trout, 20 of Leighton Myers, 37 of Martin Roberg, 420 of Christian Moplis, 97 of Mark Cofield, who's a lap down after that earlier incident just a few laps before this yellow. Scott McCann came in, as well as Jimmy Mensch, Casey Ellis, George Chimopoulos, Byron Jones with that heavy front end damage on pit lane, as well as Aaron Lester, Justin Johnson, Greg Pillar and Joe Roush, who is now 2 laps down. I believe he got the lucky dog there. I'll leave it in the hands of Mark Frimpong in the restart zone next time we come around here. DJ Trout into 30 on a little bit fresher tires than Frimpong. Frimpong on the oldest set of tires in the field, I believe. DJ Trout, Lane Myers, Martin Roberg, Scott McCann, Chris Chimopoulos. Or no, excuse me, Scott McCann came in this caution, but 2nd through 5th on a little bit older tires. Then everybody behind on new tires here on this restart. Going to be 14 laps to go here at the restart.
Green, green, green.
Frimpong maybe not getting the restart he wanted as DJ Trout's able to hang tougher on his outside door to door down the backstretch. Trout now going to have the advantage down the front stretch, or backstretch, excuse me, into turn number 3. Whoa, Trout going to get turned by the 15 of Mark Frimpong. Caution flag going to fly on that one. And we'll take a look back and see what happened there. Oh, yeah, and the 15 did wash up a little bit there into the quarter panel of DJ Trout, and that'll send him around. DJ Trout, after a little detour through the grass, but now your running order getting shaken up a little bit. Front 2 getting caught up in that yellow. Now it's going to be Martin Roberg, tentatively anyway, unless some of them pit here, but we'll have to wait and see. Couple takers, couple fakers. Up front on the restart, gonna be the 37 of Martin Roberg, 28 of Lane Myers to his outside, Scott McCann in the 12 on the inside row 2, Chris Chimopoulos outside of him in the number 420. And there you see Mark Cofield getting back on the lead lap. Row number 3 though on the restart, gonna be the 35 of Casey Ellis. Took tires on the last restart. Definitely some very fresh rubber here compared to those 4 ahead of him. Jimmy Minch as well, though, to his outside. Once the pace car makes its way back onto pit road, it'll be in the hands of 37 of Martin Roberg to restart us here in the restart zone.
Green, green, green.
And green flag back in the air. 37 of Martin Roberg getting a really good jump there. Scott McCann to the inside of the 28 of Layton Myers for second. Casey Ellis jumps up to the 4th spot. Elaine Myers having a little bit of latency there. Still side by side though for second. Ooh, getting tight back behind. A couple cars having to take some evasive actions there. I believe that was Chris Tremopoulos got the wall a little bit. We're still door-to-door for second. Justin Johnson making a big move there to the inside of Casey Ellis. Lane Myers able to clear the 28 car up to second. Now sets his sights on the 36. Justin Johnson to the inside there on the 12 of Scott McCann. Trying to put on a charge here late in this one. Still door-to-door for third. Up to the mix as well as we have 5 laps to go. Pushing really hard there. Almost had to the inside of Martin Roberg down the... Now to the bottom. Side by side there with Frimpong in the head. Justin Johnson at the 33, side by side with the 12 of Scott McCann. Whoa, Frimpong got the wall, and that's going to collect a whole bunch of cars. Heavy damage for multiple cars. Whoa, Jimmy Mensch on his lid. And the window net is still up on the number 94. He tows it onto the pit lane. Unfortunate there. I had to pick this apart. Ooh, Frimpong got the wall. Ricocheted back and just barely got the quarter panel of the 33 of Justin Johnson. And from there, he was just a passenger and collected a couple more cars. Jimmy Mensch involved, Casey Ellis. And here's how Jimmy Mensch ended up on his lid. The 420 of Christian Mopoulos just almost missed him, but just got the door. Heavy contact. Not a whole lot of takers besides those that are fixing damage here. I believe Scott McCann used his fast repair there. Byron Jones still from previous incident down there. Christian Mopoulos, heavy front end damage once again. Hopefully that's not terminal. And hopefully it's not terminal as well for the 35 at Casey Ellis as he's on pit road fixing some damage after getting involved in that incident. Justin Johnson as well fixing on pit road. Only a couple more laps to go. Joe Roush now getting the lucky dog on that one. Only 1 lap down. I'd say if there was a luckiest dog award, it's definitely got to be Joe Roush. I think he's gotten 4 or so of them today. 3 or 4. Front lights are going to be out on the pace car this time by, and the field will form up back double file. Martin Roberg gonna lead him here to green. Lane Myers to his outside. in the number 28 car. Casey Ellis able to stay on the lead lap in that one. Still got some heavy front end damage, probably hoping for a late incident here in this one to try to pick up some more spots. Unfortunate there, had a good run going. Joe Roush a lap down, as well as Justin L. Johnson. Byron Jones still on pit road fixing damage. Maybe a little late to get back out on track here, but we've seen a lot happen already. Anything can happen. Restart coming at you here. Martin Roberg showing the way.
Green, green, green.
Roberg able to get a really good jump there, but Frimpong. Lane Myers down to the bottom now on Mark Frimpong for second. Door to door there. Lane Myers almost able to clear down the front stretch. White flag is out. This is official. They'll be racing back to the line here no matter what. That spot, Lane Myers getting in the wall heavy. Oh, a lot of touching there. 3 wide. Scott McCann taking advantage. Slips up to second. DJ Trout through the middle. Aaron Lester there in the mix as well. Side by side with Myers. Now back in with their Frimpong and Cofield. But up front, Martin Roberg takes home the win here tonight. And what a way to do it. Scott McKeon going to finish second. DJ Trout third. Lane Myers fourth. Mark Cofield fifth. Aaron Lester sixth. George Timopoulos seventh. Mark Frimpong eighth. Casey Ellis ninth. And Joe Roush going to round out the top 10. Aaron Lester showing a little, or showing, how do I word? Either way, Martin Roberg here gotta burn him down on the front stretch. Well, after the running of that one, excited to get some words in here with your top 3. But Martin Roberg gets the job done here tonight. We're going to go ahead and kick off interviews here. Going to start with our third place finisher, DJ Trout. Hey, DJ, this is Bobby in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do, Bobby. How you doing?
Not too third place finish there, but walk us through your race here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, got that incident with the 15, which is unfortunate. I knew once I got this 30 car up front, I could just run away with it, but, you know, 15 doesn't know when to lift in a battle. But other than that, managed to get past that earlier wreck and give the 15 a little bit of hip and shoulder to get that third place.
Great run here tonight, getting third place here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Anybody you'd like to thank for this run?
Huge thanks to Blink Designs for the amazing paint scheme. You know, that guy is a really good painter, I think. Not really. And thank you to everyone who puts this on. I mean, this was a good race. I mean, obviously it didn't go my way, but you know, it was still a really good race. But
Car here tonight, your third place finisher. 12 Scott McCann, unfortunately, I believe, still not having a working mic, unfortunately. But we'll go ahead and acknowledge him anyways. Great run from him here tonight. And especially big move there on the last lap to get that second spot away from a couple of the cars inside the top 5. But we'll move on. Booth, you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
A great run here tonight, and maybe had a little easy there on the restart, but walk us through your race here tonight.
Yeah, I mean that first long run where I was able to pull away was really nice, and after that, kind of got in the thick of it for a while. That was a really fun race. It was. I don't really like this package in all honesty. It's kind of stupid that we're pack racing, but I think the field made the best of it. I thought I was done a few times. I got caught up in a stack up and had to take my fast repair there, but fortunately after that things worked out. And then yeah, final restart, I felt like I could have beat them even if I don't know what happened on the final lap. I felt like I could have beat them even if they were on me, but I kind of thankfully didn't have to figure that out.
Well, either way, you got the job done here tonight. Anybody you'd like to thank for tonight's win?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my teammates, and it's good to see them out there. I'd also like to thank all the people who have worked with me for the eNASCAR College Series, because that's a big reason that I felt like I could win this race tonight. Charlotte's become such a good track for me after all of the prep I've done for it. That's where I got my B main win. Got to win tonight. Finally, the first 1.5 mile league win for me. So just shout out to everyone who's helped me along the way there. Unfortunately, it means I am going to have to miss a few races in this league, and won't be able to fight for the championship. But I'm really excited to get back into that. Charlotte is the first track actually in a few weeks.
Yeah, and all of us here at Boulder Racing League wish you luck in that one, and we'll let you go home here tonight and celebrate your win.
Thank you.
That was Martin Roberg, your winner here tonight. And that'll do it from us here tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, peace.